Could I have someone move to adopt the agenda, please? Councillor Lebrion, thank you. All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Is Colin here? Oh. So we have a 5-year service award for Colin Moore. Colin joined the town of High Level in a full capacity in August 2018 as a member of the Wildland Urban Interface team after spending 2 months in High Level during Chuckhead. Colin quickly became a key member of the team with his previous experience in southern Alberta. Colin rose through the ranks to lieutenant in 2021 and now holds the rank of captain. Colin took over the lead of the WUI team in 2021 and has been certified as a structure protection specialist in Alberta. Colin has deployed to over 20 communities, assisting in wildfire response and community protection. He has also co-developed the leadership curriculum for the provincial program, and he has taken the lead in forest management in the town, helping thin the forest and ensure that High Level is fire smart. In his most recent role, Colin has now taken over coordination of the High Level Fire Department training program and will be responsible for training new recruits, current members. In 2023, Colin was awarded the Alberta Emergency Service Medal, as well as the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Medal. The town of High Level would like to thank you, Captain Colin Moore, for your continued service to our community, and thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We have a second presentation by Martin Pretorius from West Fraser, the general manager of West Fraser, who made a very significant donation to our fire department, and I will call upon the Director of Community Services to talk about it, because I'm not sure I know too much about it. Emergency, sorry. I don't know. Your job.
Madam Mayor, on Friday, West Fraser, Martin from West Fraser approached the fire department, and we had called us, actually arranged a lunch with one of his staff members, one of their ERT members, and we had a lunch with the fire department members, and Martin came bearing gifts from West Fraser. He presented our fire department with 2 thermal imaging cameras. These are latest technology thermal imaging cameras. They're far better than the ones we've had for about 20 years now, which are reaching end of life, and they donated these to us. They'll be on the trucks this week after we complete training with our members, and we wanted to thank West Fraser for their donation. I'll let Martin talk a little bit about why they did the donation.
Oh, you can talk and I'll hold.
Yes, you're welcome. So West Fraser recognized the importance of the fire department, not only for the town, but also for protection for our facility as well. We recognize that you know, the equipment is very expensive, budgets are tight, and we would like to support the town and the fire department with however we can, and we saw the gap there, and we thought that is a good place to start with, you know, getting our partners in safety the equipment that they need.
Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Chairman.
So the minutes of the Committee of Whole meeting, which was held November 18th. If there's no questions or errors. Oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor.
In number 12, question period, it says there was one gallery attendance that wished to speak. I don't recall anyone in the gallery. I'll move the minutes with that amendment.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Carried. The minutes of the regular open council meeting held November 12th. CAO.
Through your worship, we have a recommendation from the Committee of the Whole meeting, and that was placed right after the minutes. The Town of High Level Regulated Substance
Oh,
bylaw.
sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the Committee of Whole recommended that council direct administration to amend the regulated substance bylaw to allow regulated substances within the town's main administrative building if an organization has obtained proper permits, licenses, and insurance. So my question is, have they?
There are no current events in place that are looking to host an event that have come forward. This recommendation would be more of a general amendment to that bylaw for future events.
I was looking at ours and I was wondering, what is our insurance in the background? What is our insurance company's position?
Thank you for the question. We reached out to our insurance provider and asked them that question. What would be the insurance implications of this event or allowing events like this to occur? And they said that our current policy allows for those events. We insure the building, but that the events that would be hosted by an external organization, their recommendation was to require them to obtain their own event insurance policy. And I will have to remind myself of the exact wording that they used, but there is a specific type of insurance that they can get, I believe a liquor host insurance policy, that will name the town as an insured party so that if there was something to happen, the town wouldn't be able to be named as a party in the suit and would limit our liability as much as possible.
Okay. Who?
Madam,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councilor Welke.
I know the intent of this change is to allow, the sort of the major renter of within the building, the library, to have this ability. I'm wondering if the wording can state that kind of more specifically, that it's not the entire town administration building that's adopting the policy. It's more like a sort of a consistent regular renter that's using that, because the optics of saying that the town is now allowing these types of events like at the town administrator, that's not really what we're doing. We're allowing a group that rents one of the main wings almost of the town to have this type of event. Is there any way the wording could be a little more specific? My fear would be, somebody wants to rent conference room 210 and have a party in there or something like that, and that's not the intent of this at all.
CAO.
Through your worship, we can take this back and bring it back to council.
That's my one opinion. I don't know if people feel or the rest of council feels that complicates things, but we all know that the intent is not that we're going to allow sort of booze events to happen in the town administration building as a whole. It's more, you know, a consistent long-term renter of a particular part of the building.
You have a valid point. We could put that language in there. We could change the language right now. Who is the mover in this? Okay, you're okay with changing the language? Do you want to put library or a major renter of the building?
Well, yeah, I don't know how the wording would best suit it, but if that essence could be captured versus just that these events will be allowed in the town administration building. I don't, that just sounds, I mean, you know, that's kind of what's happening, I guess, in a sense, but it doesn't look, that would probably bring about, you know, the criticism that some of us fear that, you know, this would, you know, whereas that's not the intent at all, so.
So we could change it to regulated substances within the library of the administration building, the library portion.
That's really all we were looking at.
Or couldn't we change the wording to something along the lines of town-operated space within the administrative building?
Or third-party operated space.
Yeah, or third-party operated space.
Okay, it's your motion.
I'll amend my motion to fit what Councillor Wilkie is speaking about.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Thank you. So 5.3 are the minutes of the regular open council meeting held on November 12th. All in favor? Oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor.
Again, in number 13, question period, it says that there was one in gallery attendance, but I don't recall there being one. So I'll move the minutes as with that amendment.
All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
So moving on to my report, I have a very limited report. CRA did have a meeting, and the meeting basically was to update the registration letter for the parties that are involved in CRA. And that letter has been added to your agenda package. And today we had a regular Boreal housing meeting, but nothing new to add to. So that's my report. I haven't been very busy. Could someone move? Councillor Lebrion, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Council committee reports, Deputy Mayor.
November 19th, I attended the Upper Hay Regional Forest Public Advisory group meeting. There was a really interesting presentation on timber permits, how you could get a community permit. They talked about some personal permits as well. They also talked about the harvest plans for the major mills in the area. There's a, I guess that was last week, my apologies. The next meeting date hasn't been announced yet. And then on November 20th, attended the Ready Board meeting. One of the things that will be coming out shortly are some bound copies of the business cases that Ready's been working on to try and attract interested parties for different investment opportunities, business opportunities within the region, and hopefully those should be out early in the new year. That's all I have.
Thank you. Questions of Deputy Mayor? None? Thank you. Councillor Anderson?
November 14th, I attended the Community Education Council meeting at Northern Lights College. Just reviewing their budgets and what they have plans for the coming year. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Jessamine?
On November the 20th, I attended a Child Advocacy Steering Committee meeting in the morning. And then that evening, I attended the High Level Community Policing Society monthly board meeting. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Jessamine. Councillor Lambert?
I have no meetings to report.
Thank you. Councillor Lebrion?
I as well have no meetings to report.
Thank you. Councillor Welke?
I don't have any meetings to report. However, just an update, I did try to attend my interview for the new health advisory councils with Alberta Health, and that for some technical reason didn't happen. And 10 minutes into the meeting, we tried to figure out why we weren't connecting. I'm waiting for it to be rescheduled, but they have not responded to me at all regarding that. And I had asked administration if they could look into that. So if there's any updates for that, then that's great. But I still am attempting to get myself onto that board. But there is quite a extensive sort of interview process with Alberta Health that you have to go through. So.
Where were you doing the interview?
It was like a Teams meeting
And
with the ministry.
It was on their end, the problem?
I think so. I was in the waiting room, like waiting, and about 5 minutes in, I phoned the secretariat to find out if it's still happening. And she put me on hold for a few more minutes and then said that the panel had left because I didn't join. And I said, I'm in the waiting room right now. I'm literally waiting to be let in. And so she looked into it a little more and said they'd recontact me. They all went back to work. And so then I followed it up with an email because I was quite concerned that they, felt I just skipped my meeting kind of thing. Right. And then it was only for a small window of time, 3 days of interviews for those councils. So ours was already outside of that time frame. It was on the 15th, I think it was. And they were only apparently doing interviews from the 12th to 14th is what their communication said. But my meeting was scheduled with them via like an online scheduling system. So I just dialed in like a couple minutes before, waited around for a few minutes, and then called. So they have not. Yeah, I've sent even a secondary email for follow-up to the secretariat as well at the ministry, and I have not received a reply.
All right. Could I have someone move council reports, please? Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. The CAO report.
Thank you, Your Worship. In an effort to enhance transparency and improve communications, I have been collaborating with staff, and I established set timelines for the preparation of the Town of High Level's first annual report, scheduled for release in March 2025. This report will provide an overview of our initiatives and achievements in 2024, keeping the public well informed and involved in our progress. I am currently reviewing our internal processes to enhance overall efficiency. As part of this effort, we are developing a new format for council agendas and minutes. This new format was designed to make it easier for the public to follow council business and reduce the time required for minute preparation. It will also free up staff time to focus on other important tasks, bringing a positive change to our operations. I also have been addressing the town's past challenges and working fiercely to meet statutory obligations that have not been fulfilled in the last 3 years. I understand that these have been difficult times, and I am committed to ensuring we fulfill our obligations and move forward in a positive direction. I'm also working closely with staff and consultants to reframe the town's budget process. This collaborative effort will ensure we bring a well-crafted budget that aligns resources with community needs for council's consideration, balancing the financial well-being with community well-being. Thank you.
Thank you. So 9.1, Northern and Regional Economic Development Grant. Oh, so, no, there's the administration inquiries. Yes, could we take a motion to accept the verbal report? Councillor Anderson? All in favor?
Aye.
So number 9.1, the NRED grant application.
Through your worship, I'll turn this over to the Director of Operations.
Thank you. Operations or planning?
Right, planning. My apologies.
Thank you. So the 2024-2025 Northern and Regional Economic Development Program intake period is closing December 6th of this year. And the proposal is to submit an application to develop or amend the Northwest Area Structure Plan and complete additional technical studies and develop a servicing and subdivision plan for the currently undeveloped town-owned land outlined within attachment number 2. We've had a number of questions from council and the public wondering what's happening with these properties, and developing these plans would answer those questions on how do these areas develop. Once we get them to that stage of having a servicing and subdivision plan created, the town could then explore acting as a developer and develop the land ourselves, or market the land with the studies as a turnkey investment opportunity for an investor to come in and actually do the land development themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, council? No questions? Could I have a motion then? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
See how easy we are? All right, moving on to the Small Community Opportunity Grant. Try to get this one through.
Thank you. So for this one, the 2024 to 2025 Small Community Opportunity Program grant is open with the deadline of December 20th for an application deadline. This one is similar to NRED, but is more focused on developing capacity within a municipality as opposed to completing technical studies or something similar to the previous item. The proposal from administration is to apply for this to update our tourism development strategy. The tourism development strategy is over 13 years old at this point and no longer reflects the current needs of the community, and generally just needs to be updated and or replaced. We've discussed with consultants on a cost for what this might include or require, and we found that it'll probably be around $100,000. This grant is different compared to NRED, where NRED is a 50% matching. This is a 10% matching. So the majority of the funding comes from the program, 90% up to $90,000, and then the town covers 10%, and then anything over and above $100,000. So the recommendation is to apply for it, 90,000 from the program, and then allocate 100,000 matching funding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yes,
Comment? Sorry, so
Councillor
the
Welke.
apply for 90,000 and then the council would allocate 10,000?
Yes, I misspoke. That's correct.
Okay.
So is there any discussion from council on this one? So this would come out of the tourist fund?
That's correct.
Okay. No questions? Okay, motion.
I'll make the motion for recommendation
Councillor
number 1.
Welke. There you go. All in favor? Carried. All right, Jenna. 60th anniversary, CAO.
Through your worship, I'll turn the floor over to our Director of Community Services.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On October 21st, our Community Development Manager presented our plans for the 60th anniversary. These plans included a community concert. She also presented some logos that would be used for memorabilia and promotion of the events. This event would be funded through the Tourism Improvement Fund, and all revenues from ticket sales and the merchandise would go back into the fund. We do acknowledge that this is a large cost to the town, as well as there is a risk of not selling all the tickets. So we have offered another idea of hosting a community-wide birthday party in conjunction with our July 1st, if you guys so desire. So we're just looking for some direction from council on how to proceed with the planning for the 60th anniversary.
I do like the idea of joining it with Canada Day, because Canada Day is like an event that the people look forward to. They're already acquainted with a lot of the action that takes place that day. And to scale it down, I believe would be a step backwards, because we want to put money into a different event, because Canada Day happens every year. This is going to happen once. I don't have a problem with the amount of money. I do have a problem with 6,000 coloring books, though. We have how many history books sitting in our library that were unsold that, 6,000 coloring books to me seems like a fair amount to pay for coloring books. I would say my best guess would be 1,000. That's just my opinion, but I know, but the 6,000 for coloring books, I just don't see them being a hot ticket item. I see from a school perspective, the ones that were given out by the Alberta Forest Capital, laying all over the school. So just my opinion, I'm one vote, as the deputy mayor likes to say. Any other thoughts from council? Councillor Lebrion.
I personally like the idea of having the concert, but I will actually agree with the mayor on the coloring books. I feel like those could be omitted, but I do like the idea of having a concert and a show. I think that would be great and bring some people to town. My question though is around the 1,000 tickets. Where are we planning? It's kind of the idea of the venue.
I believe that the community development manager was looking at the rodeo grounds because it could host that many people.
That would be my other comment, in that, yes, I agree, let's have the concert, but I would think maybe somebody, and I know people are gonna shoot daggers at me, but a well-known country person or a band like Trooper, I know they're but you're gonna bring out the aged people of High Level. If you remember the Dawson Passion Bear, very good rapper, you know, is well known by the young kids, but his concert was not well attended. I think that if you got somebody that was a little better well-known, or an aged rocking group, because it's the aged people of High Level that are gonna buy tickets to go there, not the young people, and I don't think Tennille Towns is well-known outside the guitar camp circle. My thoughts again.
I'll just say if we do have some sort of a budget, so if you guys did go ahead with alternative number 1, approving the $118,000 budget for the concert portion, what we would then do is go back to the company and find out who they can get for us, and then we can come up with a list and bring it back for selection.
I guess I have a third point. I've looked at our reserves in the tourism. I would really appreciate administration having these serious talks with our hotels and getting that tourism fund back where it should be, so that we don't have to, I mean, like after this event, we're not gonna have much money to support the rest of the groups in our town. So, I mean, that fund needs to be back in there before we can actually help out the rest of the groups.
Yeah, and we have started conversations with the hotels, so we should have an update on that soon.
The conversation should be a short one, because every community has tourism fees. And it's I mean, it doesn't come out of their pocket directly. It's a fee that they collect and give to the town, so that the town can provide these. So, yeah, I'd like to see that happen shortly.
For sure.
Councillor LeBrion.
I'm just still on the mic.
Huh?
It hasn't turned off.
Oh, any other
Oh,
discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councillor Welke.
I'm just curious, what generally is that fee that hotels charge? Is it I'm assuming it's a per night
It's
fee? Is it $10 or less, or $5 or what? I just haven't, I don't know what,
Historically,
on your hotel bill.
Historically, it's been
Yeah.
3%, but you can, it is negotiable with the
Yeah.
hotels, so.
oh, okay. And I guess, yeah, you said you have, sorry, my question to Director Clark. You've started to have the discussions with them. That would be the new hotel group owner in town too, because that's quite a significant change from the many years of previous ownership of the the major hotels in town.
Yeah, that's the group we have talked to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm for that. I would get rid of the coloring books, I think, myself. It's my opinion too.
Maybe the chamber could do coloring books.
I think the coloring books were a good idea. I mean, they're not strictly I haven't seen all of the pages. I've seen a few examples, but they're not fully 60th anniversary. Like, they're mostly high level, right?
Yeah, so it is a character that our communications have created, and it's him doing different things around town.
Yeah. So it's not like it's only for this event that we can have these coloring books. Like, these things can be sold for years and years. And so I think to have, I'm not sure, just looking at the cost versus expenses, we're not marking these things up, I'm assuming.
No, we would, our idea was to have them for our events as well as having them in the gift shop at the museum.
So would they be to give away, or would they be?
So we could give them away as prizes at the events, but then we could have them for sale at the, along with like some of the swag. That was the idea, to have some for prizes and stuff at the 60th events, but then as well to have it for sale at the museum.
What is the cost per book?
I don't have a breakdown of the costs on the coloring books, but I can get that and get back to you.
I know I had seen it before, I just can't remember exactly. I don't think it's very much, so it's kind of tough to compare when we're looking at is it an $80 history book compared to a coloring book that I think is, I want to say under $10, maybe under $5. I don't think it's very much. Would Bill have an idea of what the cost is? No? Okay.
See, it's hard to make a decision when you don't know what it's gonna look like too.
Well, and that's why maybe we should get another example before we decide to completely get rid of it.
If
They want to know tonight whether, when,
Madam Mayor?
just a sec.
we could go ahead, if you guys decide to, if we wanted to go ahead with the concert and or the celebration of Canada Day, we can put the coloring books like aside, and then I can get more information and bring that back separately.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that we have to decide right now for that. We can bring that back at a later
So
date.
it's mostly the concert.
The concert, just because we can't pick an artist unless we have a budget for it.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Do you have
Perfect.
another?
No, I agree with everything else.
Okay. Counselor Anderson?
Do you have a date or do you have a date for this concert? Because if you're looking at it as a community event, when July hits, half the town goes on vacation, and when August hits, the other half of the town goes on vacation, and it will really limit your ticket sales.
Yeah, so we were looking at the date that the town was incorporated, which was June 1st. Around there, depending on if that's a weekend or not, so making it fall on a weekend, but.
Okay.
So that might be around rodeo weekend.
Yeah, that's the other thing as to where rodeo weekend is as well, so. And that could affect things as well, with ticket sales, because if you get them close together, who knows, right? So, I'm not really in favor with the community concert. I'd sooner see July 1st be expanded, and whether you have a small concert on the evening of that date. But that's, I think a large concert is gonna be difficult to make it pay. It's gonna cost the community a lot of money.
Deputy Mayor?
Just in terms of the comment about rebuilding the tourism fund, just for administration, it's common now for hotels to charge both a destination marketing fee and a tourism fee. And in my experience, 3% for the destination marketing and 4% for the tourism. And it doesn't matter where you stay there. So I guess destination would be rebranding the town and, you know, doing all of those kinds of things. So just food for thought for discussions with the operators.
All right, we're all over the board here now. No concert, Canada Day. Why don't we give them the funds and see what they can come up with? Councillor Lebrion.
Madam Mayor?
Councillor Lebrion, sorry, Councillor Welke,
Well,
I'll take your question first.
if he has a question, I was gonna make a motion. So if he has a
Do you
question.
have a question?
Oh, I was just gonna put in my 2 bits. I think alternative one is good. With regards to the coloring books, I think we have to assume that would be an expense. I can't see selling them. Maybe very few at the gift shop, but generally that would be a giveaway, and then also a giveaway at future events, especially if it's not targeted specifically to this event, but to high level in general. It would probably not be a not bad item to have around. They'll definitely get put to good use at different events. And then the concert, Brent said, timing wise, very, very important. This town has had some fairly severe major event conflicts in the past, so we'd have to very heavily research, what's going on. But I think in June would probably be best. because most people would still be around. So that's my thoughts, and alternative one is good for me.
And I know I'm the bleeding heart in this group, but I would reduce the prices of the tickets even if we don't make revenue, because $100 a ticket is a pretty fair price for our residents, for our birthday. Just my thoughts.
I do have a cost on the coloring books just to share.
Okay.
So it's about $2.50 per coloring book,
$2
approximately. Yeah.
We're getting into the weeds, so let's give them the money, make a motion, and they can come back with what they're gonna do. No,
I'll make that motion.
all right, Counselor Jessamine, you make it. You beat,
I'll make the pardon me?
what's your motion?
Make the motion that we grant them the funds to come back with a plan for presentation at a later date.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. There you go.
Thank you.
We might be having this concert in April. Yeah,
Yes, you do. Thank you.
so, this is a separate motion though, isn't it? Oh, you wanted them all in one? Okay, what is the logo? Three? Three?
I like number 2.
I can go with 3, 1 and 3.
The white one? Counselor Welke?
For logos,
Yeah.
I can't even remember which one I preferred before. Maybe
I
that's
think
due
you
to my
prefer
injury.
two.
I'm saying number 3 now.
Counselor Jessamine?
I like the red, the number 1. That's the one with red, right?
They all have shades of red, but yeah, the
Like-
bottom is red.
Yep. The outer, yeah, number 1. I can go into the agenda and find it, I guess.
So I guess number 3 wins.
Uh-huh.
I know, sad. No, it's not, it's. So who's gonna make that motion? Counselor Lebrion? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
On to 9.4, the 100th Avenue escalating roadway upgrade.
Through your worship, I'll turn this over to the Director of Operations.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The RFD before you is the final projected budget cost for the rehabilitation of 100th Avenue Street, lighting and curb work, as well as the sewer infrastructure. Administration has recently met with the consultant and reviewed the proposal. I'm not sure, but I don't have the proposal in my package. Do you have yours?
Yep.
No, mine doesn't have it for some reason. Just want to make sure you had the proposal at the bottom from the consultant. It was an attachment.
The financial part?
No, below
Oh.
that. There should have been an attachment for the main proposal.
No.
It's labeled as attachment 1, so we must have missed it, but that proposal was pretty well the same as the last one with the addition of water and sewer, and we can get that to council to review later. One of the biggest things that we noticed, or administration noticed when we were reviewing the wastewater infrastructure plan, was there was no provision to address the connections to the sewer main. Those are the laterals, we call them, or the service connections. Those service connections are the same age as the main, which was put in 1966. So if we go in and put in the sewer main and don't support those clay tile, they're actually a clay pipe. If we don't support them or replace them, then down the road, we're gonna have satellite and it's gonna fail, it is gonna collapse. And that infrastructure is really old, so that collapse would require the town to go back in and dig them up. So the recommendation that we put forward to the consultant was either line them with fiberglass or plastic versus digging them all the way back to the property. So they did include an amount within it. It was right around 400,000, I believe, from my memory, to do that extra work. So that, when the project's finished, we will have the new sewer main and new connections at least outside of any major work area. So we're not going back into it later. So the final costing with contingencies, and we did raise the contingency slightly because some of the bids in the area were considerably higher. We went from 15 to 20% just to cover any unforeseens that we may dig up. So it's at 5.7 million complete. We did reach out to Alberta Transportation, the infrastructure manager, and we asked him if this minor work or the wastewater would be qualified under the STIP program, and we got a positive after reviewing it with them. So we have pretty good hope that this will pass funding. Technically it will, but we still have to wait to see if the province will award the funds for the project. So we are in line. So what we're looking for is we're looking for a resolution to apply for funding, as well as we've provided some options on how we're gonna cover the funding in the future from the town, our unpaid portion, to ensure that we have direction going forward if this project goes through. So we provided two options. Option one was just using it as one major project. We take out the municipal funding, the special levy, as well as the gas tax portion, and that leaved an unsecured funded of $2 million. And below that, we've shown two different debenture periods, as well as a potential mill rate increasement for the 2025 assessment. Below that, because we do tend to try to keep our water and sewer as a separate entity, we've split the project into the actual, or within a close approximation of what the cost would be for the project. And under the sewer debenture and road debentures, you will see that they are pretty close in price. It's equal after all the applied taxes and funds. They are pretty close in value at the end of funding. So we offer two proposals. One would be a 10-year debenture on the water or on the sewer portion, as well as a 20-year debenture, and the same would be on the roads, a 10 and a 20-year. Now the fee that we show under the current fee would be a fee applied to the minimum bill, the collection bill on everybody in town. So you have a flat rate currently, and it's not noted there, currently residential is $15 a month, and at $5 rate that would go up to 20, and commercial is 30. So those are our two options to look at, or the council's options to look at in funding options. I'm open to any questions.
Deputy Mayor?
I'm in favor of the project. Obviously, the history, it looks like it's been my resolutions throughout, although we haven't been successful, so maybe someone else will step to the plate and change our luck. In terms of the funding, I really like option 2, where we're keeping the sewer and the road separate. But I would be in favor of the 10-year options. So a $7 charge on the sewer, and then a 0.27 mil increase for the 10-year period.
So we're essentially looking at a 1.27 mil. Because the special levy is 1 mil, right?
Yes, this is over and above the special levy, which was just for the 1 year for the, what was it, 568,000 or something?
Yeah, which is a fairly substantial tax increase for people. And then to add a $7 to their sewer bills works out to about $840. So $84 a year. What do the rest of you think? Silence. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, one additional comment. The reason I'm suggesting the 10-year term for both of these is this isn't the only project that we've got coming down the pipe, and you know, timing-wise, we may have another major one coming up within less than 10 years. But you know, I would hate to start to see some of these stretched over 20 years, and you know, we have multiple, you know, on there at the same time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would like to see it all debentured and to take the special levy off for the 1 year. Because on a $350,000 assessment, people are gonna be paying upwards to $400 more a year in taxes. With the special levy and the 20.27 on the road debenture. Wasn't 1 mil. So 350,000 works out to what? $350, and then the 0.27 is an extra, what? Well, that's what I said. I'm saying 350,000, that's the middle line here in high level. Yes.
So I'm curious, where did the special levy go from last year?
It didn't get charged, so people's taxes dropped last year. Well, some people did.
When I got
Yes,
my,
it did.
when I,
There was no special levy aside last year because we didn't get the state.
Yeah, I know. So
was
people's
still on-
taxes went down from the previous year because the special tax was on the previous year. So they went down, now they're gonna go back up.
are you sure on that? Because I'm pretty sure it was on my tax bill when I looked at it, no?
No, it wasn't. Shouldn't have been.
No, Mayor and Council, the special levy was not applied last year because the STIP project did not go, the STIP funding did not go through. So just a 0.5 increase of the mill rate was done on the non-residential properties for 2024.
But when did we find out the STIP funding wasn't approved?
We decided that in April, like it was end of March in our meeting in April. So we had to do our levies in May, first week in May is when we did our property tax, and we did not do a special levy in 2024.
Okay. I was under the impression we did.
But our mill rate did go up. All right. Yes?
So this is for administration. So if we did not apply a 1% or one mill rate of 1 for the special levy this year for this project for 2025, what would that do then to our payments in terms of, say, a 10-year debenture for sewer and the road debentures for, say, sewer charge? Or what would the debenture be if we didn't change, if we left the 7 and the 5 there and the 0.27 and the 0.24? What would that do to the town? Like, what would our payments go up as a town on a 10-year debenture or a 20-year debenture? Because we would be looking at $593,000 that the special levy wouldn't collect.
I'm just thinking that a debenture would probably be more attractive to people than their taxes going up that much. And the special levy only is for the people living here today. If those people moved out tomorrow, they paid for something that, whereas this is a 20-year project, now it's becoming a water sewer project. It should be. Go ahead.
Counselor Anderson, thank you. So the loan calculation for a 10-year debenture for $593,000, you'd be looking at $76,000 annually, an additional annual, and that's at 5.02%. We could also calculate it as a total. It is a lower interest rate when you do calculate as a total, so I can also do those numbers along with the second option for the full debenture, or sorry, the first option with the debenture.
Councillor Lebrion.
I'm gonna have to say I'm in agreement with the mayor and Councillor Anderson about the special levy. I'd rather see us debenture the amount than hit people with another $500 special levy.
So, oh, go ahead.
So I'm not adverse to putting a monthly sewer tax or increase on the sewer and the waters, basically on the sewer. I'm not against that $7 if we're going over a 10-year period. But I would like to see the debenture be for the balance rather than putting in a special levy.
Okay. Deputy Mayor?
The reason that I really like the monthly fee is to keep in line with council's philosophy that the water sewer is essentially cost recovery. This way we can certainly identify to ratepayers, this is 100% cost recovery. The town's not making any money on this. That's what this portion is for. And then I'm fine if we debenture the balance, to get rid of the special one-year levy. But I really think that the sewer portion needs to be a monthly fee.
I'm not against the sewer fee. How are you feeling, Councillor Welke?
I like the last three comments. I have zero problem with the sewer fees, and avoid the extra for the balance of or just to venture the rest. Yes.
Councillor Jessman?
I concur with Councillor Wilkie.
Okay. So does somebody want to make a motion to that effect then? Councillor Lebrion, you're going to own this council. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, on to, I'm lost. Under 12.1, correspondence for action, the renewal letter to the town from the Community Rail Advocacy, which remains the same fee that we paid for the previous 3 years.
So, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
On this letter, it was, or in some of the communication here, it was stated that there was more towns and municipalities that would like to join it. Is that actually going to happen? Because that will really dilute northern Alberta.
It's not going to happen. It's, well, like we've had people from other provinces, and the executive at the meeting made the decision not to include other people, but to share our information with them from other provinces, other than the territory, because we asked them specific because they were cutting off that railroad.
Right.
Too. So no, it's just going to remain with the Northwest.
Good.
Could I have a motion for this amount? No? Deputy Mayor? You'll move that we pay this $2,000? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
All right. So correspondence for information. You all read the outstanding resolution things. Is there anything you would like to pull out of this and vote on? Or can we accept it all for information?
I'll move for information.
Counselor Anderson, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
All right, so we're gonna recess now, and go into in camera. So we'd like to thank the public for joining us this evening. And, yes, so could I have a motion to move in camera, please? Counselor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. Can we take a 10-minute break, please?
Aye.